Welcome to Scramble Game Show. We haven't been playing games for quite a while because we're busy doing interview and doing some essay discussion. Now, let's return to a game. And today I want to take this hour to share with my audience. Game not only is fun, but making games or design games can be fun too. In fact, nowadays, with a lot of things at your disposal, you can make very interesting games with very little, materials. Now, today, we're going to introduce a game. I just named it, called Power Dice. Okay. Now, Power Dice, by this meaning, is a dice with power. What does that mean? Basically, I have discovered people make dice in different shape. Okay, for example, right now I have one here. If you can see, this dice is have 10 sides. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 on one side, and 0, 2, 4, 8, 6, 8 on the other side. Okay, so this is a 10-face dice. Not only that, I also discovered that people make so-called mathematic dice. Okay, for example, here is a dice. It has plus sign, minus sign, plus sign, minus sign, and multiply and divide. Okay, so just based on this kind of set dice, you can create a game. And I have created a game for the purpose of encouraging kids to master arithmetic or math, because math is fundamental. And when you are good at math, okay, you actually sharpen your brain. You'll be good at everything else. And I think I always don't like to hear people say, "Oh, I'm not good at math," and that is really a cop-out statement. It's not true. Everybody can be good at it. It may need to take a little practice. So this whole game, this Power Dice, is designed to help young people to master the numbers, multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, and so forth. Now, when that is mastered, you build up the confidence, and you'll be sharpening your brain. You'll be able to deal with anything else with confidence. So I think that's very important. Okay, how does this Power Dice work? Okay, now initially I thought, well, you design a game, you have to have somebody in mind. Usually in the game industry, people use age. For example, oh, this game is a preschool or is elementary school, from say, or 5 to 10 or 10 to 14, 15, so on. All right. Now that makes sense because children, their brains grow, their intelligence grow, and the games have to be challenging. But on the other hand, you don't really want to have games that are just for a year or two and just become sort of obsolete or kids not interested. So you want to keep in mind that whether you can design a game that can be played by different ages by having different games designed into one set. For example, this 2 dice set I'm talking about, one set of dice is mathematic operators. Another set of dice is basically 10-faced numbers. Now, with these 2 alone, you can design games to be played by very young kids, even say 2, 3-year-old or 4, 5-year-old, depending again how children pick up, and all the way to adults. So I have actually sort of written this somewhat like an instruction sheet to help introduce this set of games. Now, I call the first one, elementary one, basic one, I called Primrose. Now, some of you may know I live in the town of Somers. The elementary school, the first grade, second grade is in the school of Primrose. Okay, so that is a Primrose game, and in that game, I said, well, we use 3 power dice. 3 means 2 number dice, 1 math operator dice. Okay, and then when you go into intermediate, when you grow a little older or you play with little older kids, it becomes a 5 power dice game, and that's called intermediate, because as we some schools go into intermediate school, which is 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. Okay, now that's 5 dice. Now for the 5 dice, was a little bit sort of a more challenging in dealing with the numbers by certain rules. You can elevate it to a junior level. Okay, junior level means from 5th grade, say up is 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. Okay, that's junior high. And then after that, okay, you can have a senior power dice game, which is 7 power dice instead of 5. You got 7 dice. 7 dice will have 4 numbers, 4 number dice, 3 math operator dice. Okay. Now, when that moves up, okay, by arranging or more challenging rules, the senior power dice game can be elevated to a college level power dice, still on the 7 dice level. Okay, and that we would just simply call college power dice. Now, then finally, if you elevate the whole dice into 9 dice, that is 5 number dice with 4 mathematic dice, then that elevates to the sort of like a gradual level. Okay, any adults can play. Anybody can be challenged in this. Now in this gradual level, again we make into 2 distinction. One is a master power dice. One is a doctoral power dice. They both are 9 dice, but the rules how you play and makes it different. Now, in all of these games, we also could introduce a little bit sort of a speed element. Now, again, this depends on the people starting and the age and so forth. You do not have to push people into the extreme right away, but you can elevate that challenge. Okay, you could throw the dice, you do the operation, you do the math and so forth in a leisure way. That certainly is perfect. No problem with that. Okay, but if you think you would need to put a little competition, you can say all these operations have to be done within, say, 60 seconds. You can have a little send dial that turn and make sure people do that. Now, why? Because sometimes when the dice are thrown and so forth, the challenge was try to make highest number product you can out of the combination, and a lowest number you can, and then make the subtraction. That becomes your score. And then when you keep the score, how many times, and when you reach a plateau, you win that power dice game. So I think it's a very simple game, very easy to play. Okay, my explanation may be actually too long-winded and more complicated than it seems to be. If I start doing this, you will get it immediately. And I tell you, parents can play with their kids. The kids, older kids, can play with younger kids. Now, there is such a benefit of helping each other in this whole learning game. Okay, and it's amazing. Sometimes adults can get benefit as well, because people get rusty in terms of math, and this is a phenomena which I find it's kind of a it's sad in a sense. When people get a little rusty, they shy away. They simply say, "Oh, I'm not good at math, and you do with math," or something. People has to use calculators and so forth. I think sometimes challenge yourself. Okay, it's always good. I mean, I don't do much shopping, but I tell you, when I get a long list of shopping list, I never use calculator. I basically go look at the numbers from the single digit down, add it up, and say, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all this in the digits, and add it up, and maybe end up to be 65 or whatever. So that means you have 5 as the digit and 6 enter the next level, and then you add another line of numbers, and that may be 48. Now when the 6 is advanced, 48 becomes 54, and you put 4, 5, and then you advance 5. You'll be surprised. Doesn't matter how long the list is. It can be done pretty fast. Okay? All right. Let's see whether I can start the Paradise game here. And I introduced this little corner. If you can see the red screen here, this is to show the dice. That will be permanent there, so you can always follow. And I will do the explanation as we can. All right, I'll take away the Paradise card away. Okay, now the first Primrose dice is 2 numeral dice, 1 math operator. Okay, I'll take 1 math operator, okay, and 2 numbers. Okay, that's 3 Paradise, 3 dice game. Now, if I drop it down here, I don't know whether you can see. I think you can. This is the blue one, which is 6, and that pink one is also 6. Luck have it, minus. So if you are playing with a younger kid, so all right, can you do the math here? If you have 6 minus 6, what's the answer? Of course, that's 0. All right, and this is elementary level. And now if we say you playing against another friend or parent and playing with kid, whoever reaches say 100 or 50 wins. And perhaps you may have a little incentive, put a jar of Jolly Ranger or something. When you win, you now can have a little treat. Okay, so if I throw this, I get 6 minus 6 is 0. That means my score is still 0. Now, let's say it's your turn. Okay? Now 7 is the pink. Blue is 1. And again, minus sign. So 7 minus 1 will be 6. So you have scored 6. If you are playing against me and I was the previous player and I got 0, you got 6. Okay? Now, if we say, we'll see who reaches, easier one, who reaches 31st wins. Okay? So now my turn. All right. Okay, this time is plus sign, and this is 8, and this is 7. Okay? Now, 7 on the blue. Okay? Can you see that? 7 on the blue. Yeah, come out a little bit. Okay? 7. And pink is 8 and plus sign. So if I want to make this like a operation, I would be doing 8 plus 7, right? Okay, I'll do it this way, camera-wise. Is it better? Angle. See, I have disadvantage of seeing this corner at a different position. Okay, let's see. We'll do it 7 and plus 8. Okay, and that is 15. So I have raised from 0 to 15, and you had a 6. Okay, so now your turn. Your turn to do. All right. Okay. Minus sign. Minus is always bad, right, in this game. If you have a multiplier, boy, you probably win already. And 5 and 4. So 5 minus 4 is 1. So you have gained 1 point. So from 6 becomes 7. But I have 15. Okay? And didn't we say Whoever reaches 30 wins. Let's see whether I can win the next time. All right. All right. Ooh. 0, 7, and divide. This is a good time to introduce some rules. In this dice, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So the 0, we are making the 0 to be either 0 or 10. And it's an option for the player to decide whether you want to use that as 0 or 10. Okay? Now, in a situation where you have a division and you have a dice that is 0, there's a mathematical concept, right? When some number divided by 0 is infinite, that is not manageable, right? So again, in the mathematical sense, we can make a rule: whenever division has a 0 in the denominator, you can declare this a rethrow. That means you don't want this, right? You cannot make a determinant answer, okay? Of course, you can do the other way around, 0 divided by 7, which is 0, but that it doesn't help you, so you wouldn't want to do that. So for this case, okay, I would want to do over again. All right. Okay. All right. I have 1 and 0 and a minus. That means 1. Okay. And since I had a 15, now I had a 1, I'm 16. And you had a 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, it's your turn. All right. Let's see. Okay. I don't understand this dice. Always minus come up. Huh? What happened to the plus? What happened to the multiply? 5, 1, and minus. So 5 minus 1 is 4. So you are gaining 4. From 7 plus 4 is 11. You're coming up. And I have 16. 15 plus 1, 16. So we are getting close. All right? All right. I'm going to try not to get a minus, get a multiply. Aisha. A 3, a 6, and divide. That's not very good, is it? See? Okay. 3, 6, divide. So 6 divided by, 9. Sorry, not 6. This is 9. Okay? See the underline? So 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I gain 3. So from 16, gain 3, I'm 19 now. Okay? And you are still 14. Correct? Yeah. Okay, you now have 7 plus 7. 7 plus 7. Okay? 7 plus 7. Let's put the bow over here. You can see, right? 7, 7, and plus. So that's 14. So you now gain 14 from 14 plus 14 is 28. And if our target is 30, you're getting very close. And what I had was what? Oops, I forgot what I had. I had 16 and what did I have before? Huh? Oh, 3. So I have 19 because I have 9 divided by 3, right? It's 3, so it's 19. I have 19, you have 28. If I don't get 11 or more this hand, then I lost, right? Okay, let's see. Oh, bad, bad, bad. I have 9 and 6 and minus. That's 3. So I'm getting from 19 plus 3 is 22. You are already 28, and it's your chance to beat me. Okay, got 0, 9, and multiply. In this case, 0 multiplied 9 is 0. that doesn't help you. However, remember we said 0 is optional to be 10 or 0. Now you choose to be 10. 10 times 9 is 90. 90 plus your 28, you have 118. You way past the 30 limit. So congratulations, you won the game. And you won the basic Primrose level, 3 power dice game. Okay? All right. Now, let's move on to 5 dice, which is the intermediate 5 power dice game. Okay? Now, in this case, there are different ways of playing it. Again, you can be very creative yourself. You can decide the rules yourself. As long as players agree to the rules beforehand, that's fair. Okay? It doesn't mean that my sheet of paper is gospel. Yeah? I just happen to throw out a set of rules so that you can make at least 9 different games. But that doesn't mean you always have to be that way. In fact, my philosophy of creating games, of course, I'm not doing it for profit. I'm not doing it to try to make 1 million copies, make money. Rather, I want to introduce people the idea, say, hey, it's fun to not only play games, but also create games. Okay? And that creative process actually is very, very helpful too. Okay, now we have 5 dice. One way to play, let's follow this one, is first you take 3. Okay, let me choose this a yellow one so the color-wise won't be mixed. You take the 3, you throw, then you will do the same as the basic Primrose to get a result. And then you throw the 2 additional dice, okay? Additional dice. Now you could then rearrange the previous results, okay, with the 2 new dice. Hopefully you gain more, okay? Now, in this case, the rearrangement is not as trivial as you think, okay? Even though it's only 2 math operators. Because if you have a minus and multiply, it depends which 2 numbers do multiply first and which 2 numbers do minus. It makes a big difference as your score. So let's just do it so you will see, okay? Now, we'll start first. You know why we start with first? Again, this game, when you do the 3 dice, okay, like here, I have 9, 9, and multiply. I have 81. That's a very powerful start, 81. So if I put this 81 on the side, and this 2 more dice, oh, I have 4 and plus. Okay, let me bring this back in. Okay, ooh, can you see all of them? This way, you can see all of them, okay? Oops. That is really, this is a symmetrical image. Oh boy, did I mess up? 9 times 9, okay, and plus 6. Okay, let me see. I want to center this so that you can see all the dice. Why can't I do that? Okay, this area. Okay, get this area, this area, this area. Okay, so now you got a 5 dice. Previously, 9 times 9 is 81. Now I have thrown 2 dice. One is plus, one is 6. Okay? So how do I rearrange this to get scores? Of course, better than 9 times 9, 81. Because if I just simply do this and plus 6 is 81 plus 6 is 87, right? But is there any other way you could make it higher? Now, since we, in this dice game, do not have a bracket, although sometimes you could, okay? There are people making dice with left-hand bracket, right-hand bracket. I thought that was a little cumbersome because sometimes in one bracket, what do you do with one bracket, right? Now, if you're two bracket, you can say, well, I want to multiply, plus first. 6 plus 9 is 15, then multiply by 9. Well, that is 90 plus 54 is 144. That's a pretty big number, okay? But that means you need to have this bracket, because otherwise, in terms of mathematics, as you know, you're supposed to do multiply division first before you do addition and subtraction. So in this case, I would say 9 times 9 plus 6 is the optimum. Because if you do 9 times 6 plus 9 is 54 plus 9, that's 63, which is less, right? Less than this 87. So I have 87 on first shot. Now, what did I say? We set the target to win. Since last time we did a 30, we may as well do higher. This time 300, okay, for the intermediate. Whoever reaches 300. But I already, first throw is already 87, okay? So it's not that difficult. Okay, now it's your turn. You do, again, 3 dice. First, okay, all right, this is 7, this is a divide, and this is 8. Okay? Now you have interesting concept again. When you have 8 divided by 7, it's 1.1 something, right? It's a fraction. It's not a whole number. So what do? Again, in the rule here, we make the rule very simple. If the fraction is greater than 0.5, you round it off to a higher number as one number. And if it's less than 0.5, you drop it. So 8 divided by 7, in this case, is 1. So you only have 1 in the 3 dice here. But, it's interesting. That doesn't mean you are in bad shape, because 8 and 7, these high numbers, is very good if you lucky. You throw another 2 dice here that comes with, let's say, multiply. You could use 8, 7, and multiply rather than do divide, right? Well, let's see. Okay, you have 7 and multiply. 7 and multiply. Wow, this means, okay, let me put this spring into the view. Okay, look at the view. You have 7, 8, 7, 1 divide, 1 multiply. Now, what is the optimum? It doesn't look too good, because whatever you multiply, you got to divide to take away, right? So if you have 8 times 7, 56, and then you divide by 7, you end up with 8. And if you do 7 times 7 is 49, divided by even worse. So, unfortunately, your second throw, the multiply, didn't help you because you have that divide. But if you had, instead of 7, if a 1, that could be good, because 7 times 8 is 56. Divide by 1 would be still 56. But you don't. You have a 7. Therefore, your answer has to be 8. So you only have 8 points, whereas I had, what did I have? Oops, this is something we should write it down. I had 87, wasn't it? Yeah, 81 plus 6, 87. Okay, help me out remembering this, and no cheating. Okay, so that is the way to do that, to break it in 3 and 2. But you can always make the rules as well. Instead of breaking it down, you just do 5 in one shot. Okay? That certainly is very simple. Okay? Let's do this. 5. Okay. I have a 4, I have a 9, I have a 7, and 2 plus. That's very straightforward. There's not much you can do. 2 plus means you add the 3 numbers together, which is 20. And I had 87, 20, so I have 107. Okay? 107. All right. Now, your turn. You only had 8. Ooh, 7, 3, 6, multiply and plus. Aha. That's pretty good, because now you could do 7 times 6, 42, plus 3, 45. So 45 with your 8, 53. So you now up to 53, whereas I have what? 100. What did I have? From 87, 118. Okay? See, we don't have a pencil here to keep score. And that's one thing that we should have. And when you are playing at home, you of course have a piece of paper and pencil to keep score, so don't get confused. Otherwise, you get into argument, right? All right. I have 118. You have